It's starting on what? Yeah. Hey, hi guys. Uh, so today on March 20, we are here to speak on enhanced analytics and match-based recommendation. Okay, which we are building over the uh, data what we captured from the telemetry. So before we jump to the our topic, okay, let me first introduce myself. I am Sushant Patade. I am in the intervention team of the Kairon. I have with me Nirmal, who is leading the front end of our Kairon team. So, uh, so we have to share the screen, right? Okay. So, uh, before we jump to topic, let me give you a brief intro. What is Kairon? So, Kairon is basically a platform where we are able to model various user journeys and user flows of various domains. So far in last 1 or 2 years, we are able to address e-commerce industry, healthcare industry, and IT solutions. To define what Chiron is, it's basically a no-code platform where we are able to integrate with various systems which are able to talk through the REST APIs. Now, so that's the basic definition of platform. Now, if we just give you a basic glimpse of what we are able to achieve so far, through Chiron, once it is enabled over any of your website or any application, we are able to proactively nudge end users to recommend some kind of a SKUs or the product. We are even able to recommend what the next action should be over as per his or her earlier history. Apart from that, you may be aware that in e-commerce industry, it's very much important to create or increase lead to increase their sales and you can say profit. So that's another use case we have addressed for various e-commerce. You can say e-commerce small to mid-scale companies. Another, uh, you may have encountered problems like the applications.
Just 1 second, I'll check it.
Some problem.
I think there is no video. And now, yeah, now it is working.
Okay, so इसके पहले वीडियो नहीं था क्या?
Huh. Let's continue.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the obstruction. So, uh, so where I was, yeah. So you may have seen various applications were a bit complicated in terms of navigation, and uh, what happens with the new end users who onboard to this application, they struggle with how to use the application. Okay, so Chiron even helps to build such navigations for those enterprise solutions where we, on basis of user query, we are able to recommend or we are able to suggest the navigation links to them, which helps the usability of the application. Even for the people who have been recently onboarded, they feel the ease of use over the application. Second, as I said, that through the telemetry, anyway, we will define what is telemetry and what we do there, but it helps to effectively make your marketing spending. So, what do I mean by that? Uh, Basically, once you have the data that what kind of user persona are visiting your website, what they're looking for, okay, you are able to strategize the marketing and sales in a better way. Okay, and the second thing, what we have got because of these large language models. Okay, earlier we have a very, you can say, definitely flow of use case. Now because of chat gpt, okay, we are able to define LM based flow, and the user responses and the responses which are given to user are very much emotional quotient. Okay, now what do you mean by that? You may understand that if you are addressing a healthcare industry, obviously the responses should be very much emotional sensitive. Okay, so because of the prompt engineering and the prompt engineering over the LLM, we are able to address this kind of you can say user persona based responses. So, uh, so, so as I said, one is the proactive digital assistant, lead creation, customer satisfaction, LLM-based responses, and over that the prompt engineering, which gives the additional code to give a better responses on base of user queries. Next, I will jump on the integrations. As I said, our platform is very much like a no-code platform, and is able to integrate with any of a system which is exposed to REST API. So we are able to do integration with platform like Zendex and Zaira, whereas we are also able to pull in some data for, let's say, catalog over a website, and we are able to give a text-based filtering. So this is a basic use case which you build through purely on basis of REST API in combination of LLM and prompt engineering. So that is this was the intention to explain what is Kairon. Okay. Now we will jump to a topic. What is telemetry?
I mean, should we tell about WhatsApp?
Yeah, so the biggest you can say plus point or the advantage of Kairon is that we have the integration with various communication channels like WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook Messenger. Then we have Instagram integration, and the one bot serves across all these channels. Okay, so once you have a use case, it's there available over all the channels. Okay, and the same catalog functionality which I have mentioned, we are able to pull in the integration with Meta, and there we are able to give a text-based filtration on just you can say once the user type, he's able to get the filter catalog. So yeah, so these are the list of channels we have integrated. Now, so this was about the platform. Now, as our topic is about advanced analytics and how we are able to do through the telemetry. So before we jump to the topic, I will give will define what do we mean by the telemetry. So as we know that basically in terms of industry standard, telemetry you can define as an automated process where the data is being, we can say, passed on between two remote systems. Okay, so it can be the website, it can be application, and this data is basically used to analyze the user behavior, user persona, and what they are looking for and what we should recommend to them. Okay, so to taking this thing forward, what we have done, wherever this Chiron bot, okay, or AI assistant get placed, okay, through some smart scripting, we start capturing these events, what the people are, over the people interaction over the websites or the application. Okay, so now once we have this data, okay, we have our analytics platform and the recommendation engine to serve two kinds of use cases. We'll just go into that detail. One is the analytics, advanced analytics, okay, to give you can say highly we can say insightful inputs to the customer, mainly for the sales and the marketing team to take better decisions. Other are to customer. We are able to do better nudging, what to nudge, when to nudge through our AI. You can say advanced recommendation engine,
Reinforcement.
a reinforcement learning based nudging we are able to achieve. So yeah, so I'll just take it forward. So these are the basic application of telemetry. We are able to, you can say, optimize the user experience because once you know that, okay, on basis of earlier interaction, what user have done before, what kind of navigations he have done, what kind of product he have liked, or what kind of product it can be of various, you can say, age group, it can be of his uh, buying power. On that basis, we start giving them the, you can say, better insight to the sales and marketing team that what kind of user are coming on the website. Second is the performance monitoring. So through these events we are able to define that what's the speed of the optimal user to take a decision. Okay, and then third is a conversion rate. So we are having various users who are coming on the website, but out of those users, how many are actually users who are ending on to add to cart or having the buy activity. Then we have the content strategies. Okay, so you have defined your various SKUs at a various hierarchy of navigation. Okay, so on basis of the earlier, we can say, user journey, we are able to define a content. What is the best strategy where those SKUs should be placed so that user is, we can say, easily made, you can say, accessible to take a decision to have a add to cart operation. Okay, then is a user journey analysis. So as I said in above a few points that because of the user activities, we have various category of users. There are few users who are coming to your platform doing some activity, but somehow they are not leading towards the add to cart activity. Okay, or there are various other users who are coming and they are able to do, or they are doing add to cart, or they are taking some decision which you are interested in. So on basis of these segregation, we are able to tell you that what is the minimum time the user take a decision. What is the number of minimum clicks what a user should take to have a decisive approach to do add to cart or do a purchase. Okay, and similarly, we are also able to get the respective user buying power. So various such user journey analysis we are doing, and these are very much insightful for the sales and the marketing team. So yeah, so it's like a basic what we have said. What's the benefit of telemetry analysis? Purely, it's a all the decisions are made from the data driven. It's a continuous improvement, as we know that any kind of AI you want to build upon, the key part is data. So once you place the bot, okay, we start capturing data, and eventually as it stays there for longer duration, we have more data, and we're able to continuously improve our every metrics. Then we're able to target the user based of his persona, because we know that especially user what he's looking for, what is his previous behavior or the preferences. And then we have the enhanced securities where we are able to understand what kind of security can be also, you can say, there are various, you can say, bots which are coming on websites, and they are doing, you can say, malicious activity. Okay, so even our bot and the telemetry data are able to capture that and able to highlight that from the spike we get, let's say, over a very, let's say, short period of time. Then yeah, so these are the telemetry roadmap what we are planning to achieve in next 1 quarter. Uh, so right now we have a basic template. We are able to configure telemetry, but we want to streamline the user experience in that. Then, as I said earlier, that we are able to catch those bots and malicious crawler which come on the website and somehow give you a false alarm, or you can say false a false impression of having a higher spike. Okay, so that we are able to identify, and we are trying to deploy advanced algorithm and mechanism through which we are able to collect uh, more data, and we are able to can say give you more insightful metrics over that. And then once we have this data, you may have gone through various other platforms which give you a standard kind of analytics. Okay, the best part with the Chiron is we have our custom analytics team, okay, which on continuous interaction with the sales and marketing team. Apart from the standard metrics, we also build our own analytics, own reports, own metrics, okay, on basis of needs of a respective team. This is one basic, you can say, a snapshot of a user journey. So this indicates how the user came, okay, what it did over the application, okay, which modules he have interacted in and which order. Okay, this is a basic, simple snapshot. We'll go ahead and we'll explain how it is being driven and how it can be interpreted. Yeah, so I will hand over to Nirmal. What he will do, he will explain the full, you can say, a diagram of a solution. Okay, how we are able to capture the event and what we are doing from that.
Yeah, so this is just a basic block diagram and it just represents how the data flows through our system. So this is your website, and on website we deploy script for telemetry, and it captures all the website navigation events and all the call to actions like buttons where you can click like add to cart or buy now or view any page. And we also capture the nudge interactions. So nudge I'll take forward in the next part. But all this data is captured in our telemetry server, and using this captured data, we show some analytics report, and we also pass this data to a recommendation engine, which in turn provides the nudges on the website. So the nudges are more useful, and they are shown depending upon the user's person. So I'll just share the telemetry configuration part where how we configure the telemetry.
Structure.
So I'll start just by showing the analytics report on of our own Kairon website. So this is data for from yesterday and today. So till now we had 110 unique users, and there are out of those 236 sessions where total sessions were 236. Sorry, 260 total
260.
sessions, and the average, since we are showing data for 2 days, so average daily session is 260 only. We also show the average engagement time, number of actions, and number of navigations inside our pages. So this next graph shows user activity, like uh, on the timeline. So in morning 9 a.m. there were 16 users, and the number rose to around 50 users on 19th of March at 7:30 p.m. So this graph shows the user activity. Similarly, we have uh, graphs where we can show actions, and then what type of actions are there, like uh, uh, someone chatted with the bot and then bot was
The
open.
screen is not visible.
I'll share it again.
Sorry, we'll just reshare the screen.
Uh, yeah, I think it is visible now.
Yeah. So yeah. So I
Yeah,
think
so I'll
we
just
should we should explain from.
yeah, so I'll just go in short. These are some metrics which we show in our summary, where you can see unique user sessions and engagement times. Then we have graphs like which shows user activity and sessions, and some sessions information like which actions were triggered the most. Then we have another graph where you can segregate your users by according to the platform, browsers, and type of devices, like how many mobile users are there and how many users which are on other devices like tablets and laptops. So if the number of mobile users are high, you can optimize your website according to the mobile form factor and not the laptop form factor. So you know which form factor to concentrate on while developing your website or improving your current website. Then we also have some browser information. So you can choose which browser to prioritize while developing the website. And you also know which type of users are coming, because uh, uh, by by the browsers you can see that there is Safari also. So you know that people using Mac are using Safari. So you can identify the buyer's purchase power using this kind of metrics. And we also track the user sources. So let's say you're doing some ads on all the social media platforms, so we can so through telemetry you can also say key people are more traffic is there from Google, so you should so we should move so we should provide ads on Google, and we should concentrate on ads on Google only instead of Facebook and Instagram or Bing. So we'll get the user or the website will get more traffic. So these charts are useful in identifying where the user should concentrate on developing their current website. So another part is showing the user journey. This is another uh, so this is another visualization which we have here. You can see the way users behave with your website in a 3D chart, and you can zoom and navigate and rotate so that you can better see sources. So here the sources are in a different color, and then there are different levels. So it shows navigation, like user went from google.com to the e-commerce page. Then from e-commerce, uh, how the user is traveling throughout the website and how it is being navigated. So there are multiple pages like healthcare, commerce, advanced. Users are visiting these pages, and depending on the size of this line, you can check the volume. So the thicker the line, the more volume it is. So in this way, you can see how your website is behaving and which paths to optimize and how to improve the website again. So you can check this chart and work out which are the more which pages are more frequently used by users. So they can be improved again. So now I'll move on to how to configure telemetry. So in this, there is something called page configuration. So what we can do here is, if the user is inactive for any given amount of time, so let's say for 10 seconds, and on a particular page you want the bot to pop up after 10 seconds of inactivity and say, hi, how I can help you. Seems like you are inactive. So I can say that I have to put a page name here. So let's say it is
So till Nirmal is doing the configuration, we have to understand one thing, that when you want to enable the telemetry initially, we don't have data. So this the main intention behind this page is to configure these nudges manually in the initial stage. Okay, but once we start capturing data, okay, on basis of the data we will start giving the nudge, okay, what to nudge and when to nudge. So right now if you just see that, okay, after inactivity of 10 second, this 10 second or it should be 15 second, that will be purely defined from the reinforcement learning, that on base of the user's previous you can say interaction, on how much time he spent, what is the, you can say, average time he take to take a decision to do add to cart. Okay. uh, yeah, but initially once we start having the new account or newcomer, we do this configuration on basis of, we can say, the data shared by customer from any of the earlier platform. Okay. We configure some initial version of nudges. We start capturing those basic data. On incrementally we start configuring these nudges, you can say, in a better way. Okay. And once these nudges are configured in let's say in a adequate let's say number, and we are getting the data, okay, on that, then the reinforcement learning and the AI part, you can say, pitch in, and then it start taking decisions that what should be nudged to the user and when it should be nudged.
okay. So the first part which I configured here. So when you configure this, what will happen is the bot will automatically open up and it will send this message. So the bot. This means that whenever you are inactive and you want to do, uh, you want somehow user to engage with the website, you can send this kind of message. And here we have to define on which page it should be there, and what message should be there. So these two things are required for the page level configuration where bot will open up. The second part is event configuration. So here, what we do is what events you want telemetry to capture. So here you can either provide a CSS selector where you can either write the class names or any unique identifier for a particular element where which is a call to action. So let's say buttons are generally call to action. So we can just say button, the name of the element and the class name. Let's say the class name is .bt. You can configure elements like this, or if you want to configure a global level selector, so you can write that. You can do something like this. So this is a global selector where this whatever it is written in the square bracket, this is called, this is an attribute in the HTML element. So whenever this attribute is present, we will capture the click events of that of those particular HTML elements. So this is the just a general event name because we need a fallback. But otherwise, this element should be like, the attribute should be like data icon telemetry is equal to the value of the event. So let's say a button is for save. So what we will configure is data icon telemetry is equal to save. So telemetry will save the string which is there in the value of this attribute. So I just remove this command. And here you have to tell the selector also. So to capture the value. And once this is done, you have to just save it. And when this is saved, all the elements which are in the website which have this attribute called data hyphen telemetry, we will capture the value of those if they are interacted by the user of your website. So this is the second part in telemetry configuration, and the third part is, this is a custom custom key where you can, if someone is logging into your account and you have a application kind of thing, so you can tell, you can log the user IDs in the local storage, and telemetry will capture those user IDs and it will show up in the report, in the analytics report. So this is a very much custom solution for where you want the user's information also and not a random ID about the user. So just we'll quickly go through a report which we have. So here, as you can see, we provide some kind of summary. This is a custom report for which we have, depending on your use case, we have to build.
So once we have configured these telemetry events, okay, on weekly basis we trigger these reports. That frequency can be defined, and we used to share these reports to all our customers. Okay, so basically we give like what's unique count of users have came to the website, what is their unique, you can say, what's their average time being spent on that. Okay. Secondly, we also define that which are those collections which are the most, you can say, mostly visited. Okay, and what are those? What's the count of the add to cart events which are being done? Okay, so from these events which have been captured through telemetry, we are able to build, or you can say, evaluate these basic metric. Also, the you can say in-depth metrics which are very much essential for, you can say, sales team. So if you just go to the second tab, just scroll down, telemetry analytics. Yeah. So here we are giving the week on week, you can say, number of users who have came to the website. If we just goes down, we are even able to highlight like which are the top menus which are being clicked by the end users. So it's a long list, and as I said, we have a custom analytics team which works on these data points, and we keep building new metrics for the teams. Okay.
Yeah, and we can also customize this reports depending on the requirement which you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this depends on type of website. So e-commerce website will have different reports, and
So, for example, recently one of our e-commerce company wanted to know the what is the buying power of an end user. Okay, that it means, can you give me that? Okay, what's the range of the buying power? You can say of people or of the or the customers who are coming to website. Okay, and on that basis, can you do the nudging part? So anyway, we'll talk on nudge ahead. We'll explain how we do that.
I think we should move on to next.
Yeah.
So this was the block diagram, and yeah, we'll move to next one.
Yeah, so we just define what is telemetry, okay, and what we are doing in terms of telemetry, how we are capturing data, and how our custom analytics teams are able to, can say, give better insights over captured data. Now, once we have this data, we are even able to nudge specific, you can say, SKUs or specific, you can say, notifications to the customer. Now, as we know, what is nudge? So to define what is nudge, so nudge is basically so you can say a prompt to the end user to influence the customer behavior. You may have seen over various e-commerce site or the apps where you have been nudged to buy some product. You have been nudged to any of our upcoming event. Okay, or you may have been nudged also for upcoming, let's say, sales event. So on basis of what data we are capturing, we are able to nudge various recommendation to the customer. So far, we are able to build upon a strategy where we are able to nudge the SKUs over the e-commerce industry. And apart from that, we are also wiring where we can nudge the, you can say, upcoming sales event or some kind of a discount offers. Okay. Now, in terms of this nudge definition, main thing comes how you define that what should be nudge and when should be nudge to the customer. To move forward, yeah, so I think I jump forward. Firstly, we'll explain about why the nudging is important. Uh, so as we know that in terms of to increase our sales and revenue, it's very important that we make the user's life easier to while taking a decision. Okay, so basically, nudge helps the customer to take a prompt decision in case some kind of, we can say, you can see some kind of expectations or some kind of broad behavior already in his or her mind. So if you know the user persona in advance, okay, on basis of his earlier transactions, we are able to know whether this user in a specific case want to buy a product for kid or for adult. Okay, you are even able to know what kind of a price range he will be looking for. Okay, so we are able to do a personalized recommendation on basis of his previous interaction. It increases the engagement obviously because uh, the user is able to take his decisions very quick and fast. Obviously it leads to improved decision making, tailored shopping experience because you reduce the exploration of website. You are upfront giving what they are looking for, and promotion of discovery. So when we say every time you have a new product or new SKU getting launched, it's difficult to reach out to customer and inform them about these SKUs or this product. So when they are visiting your website, okay, you are able to nudge what is being recently launched or what is being highest sold product, okay, in the specific category. So it also helps to do promotion kind of activity also. Yeah. So these are the roadmap for Nudge. So as I said, while configuring that, uh, we do capture those events, and behind the scene, as Nirmal shown in diagram, we have two backend system. One is our analytics server, another is a recommendation engine. So we use reinforcement learning where on basis of user persona and kind of you can say user item interaction the user had, we start giving nudge on this on the products. Okay, it's so right now we have some kind of a usability issue in terms of configuring nudge. We're trying to improve those UI UX widgets where it can be very easier for the teams to who are doing those configurations. Nudge preview, uh, Nirmal will showcase you that okay, before hosting those nudges for the end customer or making them live, the team can have a preview of a nudge over the respective website, which gives a clear idea how to look over the website. Second, initially we have struggled to keep the uniform, you can say, uniformity of nudge over the website and the mobile. Okay, but we are coming with the solution where we can have a different configuration for both
Mobile
the
only.
platforms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mobile only
mobile only.
configuration.
And third, it is very much important to reduce the cycle of implementation and the quick deployment where you have the templates for various domains. So it can be a nudge configuration for e-commerce, which will be different, obviously. You can have a nudge configuration from some realty, you can say, or infrastructure domain. So we are trying to build templates of nudges where once a customer comes and onboards, it can be deployed in a very fast way.
So this is one of the previews. This is in development, but have captured a screenshot and put it here. So you can see a preview of a nudge how it will look on the website. So it shows you directly here how much space and what is the resolution on which the nudge will look. So right now the resolution is 1680 by 1050 and it is scaling to 79%. So you can see a preview here. And I just show you a quick screenshot of uh, how the nudges which we have already configured on our website. So yeah, these are the nudges which we can do. So I'll just move on to actually configuring a nudge and show you how to.
So I just want to speak on this. So you can see that right now we have variety of nudge. The first nudge gives you a, you can say, timer kind of a feeling where you are giving some offer or discount for a defined time frame. Okay, it do have multiple variety where you can even put timer in terms of, you can say, date. Okay, some predefined date. We are also building nudge where you can give a combo of you can say product where user can buy and he gets different offers. Okay, so these are four nudge which we are showing you on this demo, but it's a long list which can be configured and it can be deployed.
So, so right now we have four different types of content which we have already created and which we are using. So I'll just open one, and here you can see that we have selected a template too, where we have a header and a text which were body text and a button. So if you want to change, so this is the basic format for the template too, and we have all host of CSS settings which you can change. So I'll just show how this will look in all the templates. So this is template 1 and template 2. But right now what I'll do is I'll create an entirely new template so that we can see how to configure. So first thing what we have to do is we have to select a template. So let's select template 2 and we can say demo template. This is just a title so that you can refer whenever you come back and see what which templates you have created. You can identify them by the title of it. So inside header we can say LLM use cases. Body we can write sales and conversation. Now we can do is we can create a label. Let's say book a demo, and for URL I just put Kairon.com/contact us. So for icons, we can use SVGs. So if you already have an SVG, then well and good. Otherwise, you'll need a SVG for this particular button. So what I do is I'll just copy it from some. So as you can see, when I've put my SVG here, a small icon appears. But since this nudge looks a bit smaller, what I do is I'll increase the width of it. So let it be 3 So now the font size is small. So what I can do is I can set a global font size. So it is 1.2 rem. So when you do a global thing, global sizes or anything, it will change the font size of all the 3 sections like header, the content, and the button. And we can put a font family of it. So let's call it enter. If you want border radius, you can put it, but I will ignore it for the timing. Then we can change font width of the entire thing. And now we can define a nudge position. So depending on this, you will you will see where the nudge will appear. So if you choose the bottom left, it will come in the bottom left corner of the screen. And similarly, depending on the position you select, nudge will appear on that particular position in your screen. So width and height are like self-explanatory, where you can put width of your nudge. And if you select nudge resize relative to window, so your nudge will resize itself depending on the height and width of the browser. So if you have a smaller resolution, the nudge will be a little bit smaller. If you have a larger resolution, the height and width of the nudge will increase by itself. Then you can choose the close icon color. So there is a close icon, but depending on the background, the icon may not be visible. So if let's say you have a darker background, so in this case, the close icon is not visible, right? So to overcome that, we have given a option where you can change the close icon. So the next option is image width. So right in this case, in template 2 we don't have an image, but in case of template 1 there's an image. So we can choose how much screen size to give for that image. So if you change the width and height, it will increase or decrease the amount of space which you have. So right now, just remove it and I'll go back to that. So again, there was an option for an image in the first and third template. At the top or at the bottom, you can put an image. So if you put URL of your image here, it will come. Yeah. So depending on the image, it you have to put your URL and it will show up. You can even use GIFs or GIF so that it can be animated. So next is background color. So this is also uh, you can change any background color which you want to. You can even use gradients in here. So I'll just copy a gradient. So if you have a gradient, you can use it, or you can copy gradients online by searching through Google, and you can put the gradients. And depending on your website, you can then choose a color. Uh, so yeah, let's go with this. Or if you want a blue shade of blue, so now the next is background size. Okay, so all the properties like background size, position, and position expand. These all depends on the image which you have, which we can put in the image URL. So if you are using a image in template 103, then uh, these properties are useful. Next thing is Z index. So sometimes what happens is your website might have some Z index, and depending on, so menus have some Z index so that they appear over other things. So if you see that after deploying the nudge is getting hidden due to some elements, you can increase the Z index from here, and it will come on top. Another option which are given is called overlay. So if you want an overlay, so it will create a transparent background, and that transparent background will hide all the your website, and it will come on top of your website, and on top of that you can see the nudge. So you can enable it from here, and you can choose the opacity and background color from it. So now we have already configured this, right, till this. So now what if I want a different font size for that? So I want a 1.4 rem. So we can increase the font size from here for header only, and I want a different font family. So I can use Roto, or I can use System UI. So it will use my System UI depending on whatever font family you have on your website, you can put here. And if you want an underline, so you can use that, or try to learn that. But so if you want to learn more, we have given a link, and you can learn about more text decoration properties which you can use. So now I want to change the font, and I will do it thinner. So changing the font weight, and I want it to be white because it is more readable with this background. So now we have changed the header. Now next thing is for this body text, I want different fonts also. So I want one rem here, so that it will be a little more smaller than the header. And again, the font color I want a silver kind. So yeah, this is the font color. Then again, I want a smaller font width. So that again, if you want a different font family for your header and for your content, you can change it. Now, what I want to do is a different button. So I'll do a blue. Sorry, I'll do a white text. I want a different background. So you can do this, and I want the button radius of 12 px, so that button is more rounded. And again, font size of one rem. Then there are same options, like you can select the font weight, font family, and if you want a white border, so it should be 2px solid and white. You can increase it depending on how you want the configuration to be. And if you want a different height for a button, you can choose that also. So once all this configuration is done, we'll just save the image. Yeah. So a content is saved. So next thing what we want to do is we'll need to create a strategy for it. So I'll just go to Kairon.com, and here we have a page called intelligent conversation. So I want to configure a nudge for this particular page. So what I'll do, I'll create a new strategy for it. I'll add a new strategy. Here, the page was called Intelligent Conversation. So I'll create a title for the same. And I want the nudge to be active. So if you just want to configure a strategy and you don't want it to be active, so you can deselect this. So we have given an option to enable reinforcement learning, but right now we'll just ignore it. Then there are two options. One is inactivity time and activity time. So what is inactivity time?
Just check your screen share or not. I think the screen sharing got stopped. Okay, I think last 1 or 2 minutes it was not shared.
Okay, so I'll go again with this.
Yeah, so what we can do now, just give you the high value components, like you're able to define the width and height, color definition, and the font of a header and body.
Okay, so I think there was some issue with screen sharing, so I'll just go quickly through it. So on the left hand side, we can put all the text which we can see. Okay.
I think someone takes screen sharing.
Okay, I'll share my screen again. Yeah, so I think there's some issue.
It's fine. Packing smiles. We can only see you.
Yeah.
You're not able to see this. Screen sharing is problem. या
Yeah,
फिर या फिर just share whole screen. Let's see.
yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
No, just do entire screen share over here. No, it's no problem. This issue, but it's just started as a स्लाइड्स पे कॉन्फ्रेंस का नहीं होगा ना ये their screen sharing में नहीं हो रहा
Screen sharing means start.
है just do one thing share your PPT
People.
हाँ but वो तो that also करो
Let's say if it is.
हाँ
No, right?
should I try
Hmm.
I think मुझे इसकी भी लगेगी wait channel
Wait, what?
but it will end the current one or what
I'll just reload the page and see. I'll start again.
okay
I don't know what will happen. I don't know what